Hello there, welcome back to the Recipes with Ray YouTube channel. Today we are making a classic chocolate chip cookie, and I realized that I have never made a plain chocolate chip cookie recipe with you guys. So first, my oven is preheating to 375. In a large bowl or in a stand mixer, we're going to cream together 2 sticks of butter. That's also 1 cup of butter, salted, softened. Mine's not exactly soft, but that's fine. And then I have 1 cup each of white sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. Remember, when you're measuring brown sugar, we pack it. When we measure it, pack it into your measuring cup. And if you've been here before, you may know that I do not have a stand mixer. And that's for a couple reasons. 1, I don't want to have to find a place to store it. And 2, I want you guys to know that these recipes that say mix in a stand mixer, that's easier and that's nice and that's convenient, but you can also do it by hand. So here we are. I'm just going to work my butter and my sugars together until they are well combined. If you're using a stand mixer, it'll be light and fluffy. I don't think I'll be mixing that far because my hand and my arm will get tired by then, but we're going to get them all mixed up. If your butter is still quite firm when you're ready to make your cookie dough, you can always soften it in the microwave. Don't melt it, keep an eye on it. Soften it in the microwave. I like to soften mine at half power. Or if you already have it in the bowl with your sugar like I do, as long as you're in a microwave safe bowl, you can pop your bowl in. I popped mine in for about 40 seconds, again on half power, not melting the butter, but softening it so that if you're mixing by hand or if you're using a hand mixer, it's that much easier. All right, once you have your butter and sugars mixed to the point you want it to be, we're going to take a medium bowl, put in 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, and a half teaspoon of baking powder. I'm using kosher salt. Go ahead and whisk that together. You could do this step before you cream your butter and sugars together. The original recipe I'm using says you're actually supposed to, but I forgot, but it's okay. No harm done. Okay, let's set our flour bowl aside for a moment. Back with our butter sugar mixture, we're gonna add in 2 large eggs. You can work them in one at a time. I'm going to add both of mine. Just make sure you work them in really well. We don't want any big streaks of egg white left behind. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Add in the dry ingredients. Careful when you start to mix this together. Lots of flour will go up if you're not careful. So start your stand mixer on low when you add your flour in if you're using a stand mixer. And remember, when you measure your flour, spoon the flour into your measuring cup. Flour will pack down, and if you just dig your measuring cup into your flour container or your flour bag, you're gonna pack the flour into the cup and you're gonna end up with more flour than you need. And the last thing we want is dried out cookies, so spoon your flour. If you want, you could even then sift your flour, but at this point in my life, I don't do that. Once all of your flour is mixed in, make sure you scrape down to the bottom of your bowl. It's time for the chocolate. So this recipe calls for 2 cups or 12 ounces of chocolate. I'm using a combination of 1 cup of bittersweet chocolate chips, about 3 ounces of 72% chocolate, and then about 3 ounces of 80% cocoa. This is quite dark. I would say I'm a huge fan of chocolate chunks. I think it's much nicer than chocolate chips. I don't know, they melt better. There's a bigger surface area maybe. And I like the multiple chocolates. So ideally, I would use maybe semi-sweet chocolate chips and then 2 separate chocolate bars if you can. I would do maybe a 60% cocoa and a 70% cocoa, unless you know you really like dark chocolate, because these can be quite rich, quite intense, and if you don't care for dark chocolate, this may not be your cup of tea. If you don't want to use chocolate bars, you only have chocolate chips in the house, that's okay too. These are still gonna taste good. You could use just one chocolate bar, one cocoa percentage, up to you. You can play around the second or third times you make this recipe. Do you guys have a favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe? I would love to hear about it down in the comments if you do. Once your chocolate is evenly distributed, let's get out a baking sheet. So we are supposed to roll 2 to 3 tablespoon sized cookie balls. Here I have a number 40 cookie scoop, and this is 1.5 tablespoons. I would just like a few more cookies. I do love big cookies, but I'm going to be taking some of these to work, and I want more to go around. So I like to line my baking sheet. I have a silicone mat today. Parchment is also great, and just drop your cookie dough. I like to give them an inch or two in between because they're going to spread out. Now, this recipe does not have us letting our cookie dough set. I wonder what would happen if you let this sit in the fridge for a couple hours overnight, if they would stay upright more and spread out less. Because I do like a thick cookie. But hey, if it tastes good, I'll take it. All right, we're going to bake these for 8 to 10 minutes, and our author begs us not to overbake these, so they're going to look just barely golden. Okay, take a look. Little bit of brown around the edges. You can see they spread out quite a bit, so give them a little more room next time. Now, they look underdone, right? They're not very golden on top. Trust the process. Also, if you're someone who loves crunchy cookies, just cook them more. However, I'm someone who likes them a little soft and chewy, so I'm going with the originally prescribed cooking method. So we need to let these sit for 5 minutes on the baking sheet, because if you try to lift them off now, they're just going to melt off your spatula. If your cookies have stuck together, cut them apart first, or else they might tear when you try and lift them off your tray, your baking sheet, and nobody wants that. Well, it looks like I don't have room for that last one, so I'm just gonna have to eat it. Let's test it out. I think the best time to eat a cookie is when it's fresh out of the oven, once you can pick it up. Look how much chocolate is in there. Just that big puddle of glossy chocolate. Definitely need a glass of milk with that, but the fun thing about having different chocolates in there is each bite is a little bit different depending on which chocolate is in your bite. One thing I would recommend that would be really tasty is putting a little bit of extra salt on top. There's something in that salty sweet that's really nice. So I will leave everything linked down below for you guys. Give this video a big thumbs up if you try these cookies. Be sure to subscribe for more delicious videos. And if you want more of a oatmeal chocolate chip cookie recipe, go ahead, click right here on screen, and I'll see you guys there.